The girl pulled down her leotard slightly, revealing her shoulder strap. The judges were stunned. This was the finals of a gymnastics competition, and without hesitation, she sprinted toward the vault, jumped onto the saddle, and raised both hands, flashing an international gesture of goodwill. It was her way of saying she was forfeiting the competition. The audience was confused. One of the judges was so shocked that he knocked over his scorecard. But amid all the chaos, her coach just smiled, full of pride. Without a doubt, her score was now 0, but she didn't care. She was doing this for her teammate. From the very start, the competition had been rigged. Her teammate, Vivian, had performed a near-perfect routine on the uneven bars. Yet, the judges only gave her a 9.075. Vivian was devastated. Her coach confronted the judges, pointing out how incredibly difficult her moves were. But the judges dismissed it, saying they didn't encourage girls to perform such high-difficulty moves. The coach let out a bitter laugh. From that moment on, no matter how flawless the performances were, the scores were unfair. A deduction for the slightest thing, even something as trivial as music selection, became a reason to lower their scores. To the judges, it wasn't about skill, it was about keeping the sponsors happy. Then it was Lena's turn. She executed an incredibly difficult routine. The crowd erupted in cheers. But the judges, they only gave her a 9.5. Guests filled the arena. No one could understand their scoring anymore. The coach stormed over to demand an explanation. And this time, the reason was even more ridiculous. They claimed Lena's shoulder strap had slipped during her routine. The coach was furious. He turned to the audience and shouted the absurd reason for the deduction. The crowd was outraged. The gymnasts were starting to realize the truth. It didn't matter how perfectly they performed. The judges had already decided the outcome. So, the girl made a bold decision. She ripped off her competition number, threw it onto the ground, and with her 0-point score, she sent a message, a protest against the unfairness. Then, the next gymnast stepped onto the stage. She smiled brightly and began her routine. And just when everyone thought she was going to compete, seriously, she put down her shoulder strap too. One by one, every gymnast took their turn, and one by one, they all chose to forfeit. If the judges refused to be fair, then they would make sure the rightful winner got what she deserved.